Hi, my name is Jacqueline Brown, and I will be doing my research on what obstacles do athletes living in a single parent household face. I decided to do my research topic on this only because it not only interests me, but as well as it is an occurring problem that I see living in Detroit, especially among African American males, young African American males being raised by single mothers. During this time, as my research goes on, I am going to relate the obstacles that young athletes face living in a single parent household and how they relate to their chances in making it into the professional world, and in particular the NBA. So I'll be talking specifically about basketball players when I say the word young athletes. This is just the FYI. So just to start off first, I just want to say that the Census Bureau currently states that there are 28% of children living in a single parent household. And just to kind of jump into those obstacles that they face, one obstacle would be the financial problems to support their sports finances. And this can either hinder them from playing a sport, or it can hinder the household. And so, in which we'll see. So, as I stated, there's currently 28% of children living in a single parent household, and there's currently 37% of African Americans living in a single parent household that are less likely to make it into the NBA, compared to African Americans that aren't living in a single parent household with both parents, and their chances of making it to the NBA. There are currently 75% of white Americans living um, in a single parent household that are less likely to make it into the NBA. So the chances right there are pretty low in order for a white American or an African American to make it into the professional world. Um, I think, this is currently a problem just due to it's not only the child who's being raised in this, you're pretty much born into this, and it's nothing that they can, do, about this just due to their family situations. And it's sad that they have to be hindered by this. But it's pretty much the way life and everything cycles. But in general, these are the numbers. And these numbers I actually got from a current researcher who talks about race and the social status behind race and how it affects, in general, both African American and white American athletes and their chances of making it, and how their background can affect this. Another thing that affects um, a single parent and their athlete in a single parent household would be the relationship. And this can correlate with the socioeconomic status, just for the simple fact that when you live in a when say if so that you had a recent divorce or maybe a death. With that comes being now a single parent household, which you can either have to work twice as hard to make up for the income that the other parent once made, which is now taking away the bonding time that you have with the child. This can be from either going to a game, viewing their games, helping them out in practice that extra time that you may or may not have been doing before. So relationship is definitely plays a role in the obstacles that a single parent and an athlete have to face when coming into a single parent household. And just to give you a few numbers, when it comes to a one parent home, you're 18% less likely to make it into the NBA compared to an African American who has both of their parents in their house, and you're 33% less likely to make it if you're a white American compared to a white American that is currently has both parents in their household. And so, and actually, I think I made a mistake. 37 and 75% are from low income families. And their chances of making it into the NBA. The 18 and 33% are the chances of making it if you have both parents or single parents. And so this definitely plays a role and definitely hinders the athlete in general. As far as methods, I would do qualitative and quantitative method. I would use, if I were to implement this research proposal, I would use qualitative and quantitative, and I would use a focus group as we did online, but probably in an in-class setting with both the parents and the athlete, asking questions as far as like their income level, what challenges do they face, if they face any challenges, and what exactly may be, the different sports sports payments that they have to make out maybe monthly, or the upfront fees, and how does this affect them? How do they support their child in general, and what does that support looks like? How does the child feel mentally, emotionally, with being in a single parent household, as well as quantitative. We're doing a random sampling. This is pretty much it. Thank you for listening to my project. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I hope to view the rest of your guys' projects as well too. Have a good day.